Your entire life, your success, your failures, your happiness, everything about your life is guided by one principle. I was taught this principle. It completely changed my life, and hopefully the goal of this short video is just to pass that message along, and hopefully you could use it to transform your life. If you don't know who I am, I'm Elias. I own multiple businesses at the age of 24. I have financial, time, and geographical freedom. Now, I don't pretend to know all the answers. I've had incredible mentors, incredible teachers who have taught me everything I know to get to this point. And out of all the mentors I have, all of them live by some derivative of the concept, you become what you think about. And that's the whole point of this video. The reason that you become what you think about is because ultimately your thoughts, the things that you habitually think about, the things that pop up in your mind, the things that you obsess over, those ideas, those thoughts, those emotions, those feelings are the things that ultimately dictate your actions. And we all know action is the only thing that counts. The things that you actually take action on are the things that change your life. Your life, where it is today, whether it's good, bad, doesn't matter what it is nothing more than an amalgamation, a distillation, a sum total of every decision you've ever made in the past. If you look at your life, if you're overweight, couch potato, well, I don't need to be a genius to know if that I look back into your life, you probably eat a lot of fast food, you probably don't exercise, you probably don't care about your nutrition, right? So it's the actions you take that lead you to the situation where you're at today. Now, if you look back, why do you take certain actions? Some people self-sabotage. They do things that they don't want to do, even though they know they don't want to do it and they know it's bad for you. They make these mistakes anyway. But they have these self-limiting beliefs. They have these ideas. They have these thoughts and emotions that they think and feel constantly, which completely dictate the behaviors they take. So one of the things that's so important, when I realized that you become what you think about, I became so hyper aware, so critical about that inner voice in your head. So just as a recent life update for me, just a few weeks ago, I bought another company. I bought a plumbing company. I have been obsessing over the idea of buying a home service business for all of 2024. Not all of, say about May of 2024, the idea popped in my mind. I want to buy a plumbing company. I want to buy an air conditioning company. I want to buy a home service company. I know nothing about the trades. It's not my background. I'm not a plumber. I'm not an HVAC tech. I'm not any of this stuff. But I've obsessed over this idea so much. I've created affirmations. You put them on your mirror every day. I read them. I consciously program my conscious brain about this idea of this life. I paint a picture, a vision of what I want in the future, what I'm thinking about, what I'm obsessed over. And when you constantly think about that, and when you constantly obsess over it, that ultimately changes the actual actions and the decision-making that you take on a day-to-day level. Because there's no such thing as the past. There's no such thing as the future. You can only live in the present. And so it's the actions you take on a day-to-day basis, as I mentioned, that dictate what your life will ultimately become. And so I made it a conscious habit to completely reprogram my brain and to almost live in this idea, I should say, almost live in this idea of what my life should become. And I started to take the day-to-day actions, not of where my life is today, but where I need it to be. And what do I mean by that? So I've been obsessed with this idea of buying this business. Well, because I start to program my mind and I obsess over it and I start to surround myself with people who own plumbing businesses and operate them, I get exposed in this. I started to take the actions I needed to become the man I am today. I picked up the phone. I made phone calls to people. I asked people if they were interested in selling their business. I asked people to mentor me in this industry. I've been able to have so many doors open up to me. I've been introduced to so much knowledge, so much experience, so many opportunities, simply because I'm obsessed with the idea that I put in my mind. Now, this goes for everything. There was a moment in time where I never hit the gym. I was never fat, but I certainly didn't have a muscular build and I wasn't fit, nothing like that. And I became obsessed with this idea of getting my body right. And there was a lag. There was a long time before my mind fixated on the idea and when it actually materialized. But the first thing is, before you could ever materialize anything in real life, you have to just lock it in here. You become what you think about. Your life is not a product of accurate thinking, but habitual thinking. The things that you think about the most are the things that you actually take action on. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, he had a very simple formula for this. He says the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what your definite major purpose is. Your one goal, your one North Star, Because if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So the first thing you have to do, and this is arguably the hardest thing, clarify with absolute clarity the vision that you want in your life. Have that as your definite purpose. And then from there, you obsess over it. You think about it constantly. And when you're truly obsessed, you think about it when you're not working. You think about it before you go to bed, right when you wake up. And if you constantly obsess over this one idea that you want, you start to take the actions necessary to move yourself towards that goal. So everything I've ever done in life, whether it's the home service business I just bought, whether it's the healthcare company I bought last year, whether it's the real estate investments I did before that, I knew nothing about what I was doing. But I became so focused, so obsessed over the idea of accomplishing it, that naturally put me in a position to take the actions necessary, which is the most important thing, to move myself towards that goal. I met people who were already operating in the business that I wanted to buy, or I met people that are already investing in the real estate that I wanted to invest in. And you start to associate with these people. You learn, you network, you're exposed to opportunities, and ultimately, you are who you associate with. You are what you constantly obsess over. By accident, you'll start to accomplish the things that you think about the most. I mean, just look back in your life. Look at the things that what is the thing that you've obsessed over the most in life? Chances are you were able to obtain that. I mean, if you were so fixated on a particular car, I want nothing more than this car, chances are you'll probably have that car at some point in time. That'll naturally get you to go work a higher paying job to get the money so that you can then afford the car. Maybe you might even be fiscally irresponsible and go finance it. Not saying that's necessarily something you should or shouldn't do, but nonetheless, you were obsessed over this idea of getting the car and you did whatever it took to get the car. Now, I don't know why people don't do that with their lives. I became so obsessed with these goals, right? These things that I want to accomplish. I wanted to become free. I wanted to be able to travel the world. I wanted to buy businesses and scale and grow. But when I first had these ideas, I was in no way qualified, no way in a position to be able to accomplish any of this stuff. But the first thing you got to do is you got to lock it up in here. You have to become obsessive over it. You have to start thinking about it. In time, you will figure things out. You will make mistakes. You will meander. You'll start to kind of morph and pivot, and you'll ultimately start moving in that direction. I have no idea why people don't take the opportunity to think about their future. If you had the choice between living a life that's designed and undesigned, which one would you pick? Now, naturally, everybody would say, yeah, I want a designed life. I don't want life to just happen to me. I want to choose what happens. Why the fuck don't people actually take the time necessary to think about their life, think about their goals, plan what they want to accomplish in life, and obsess over it constantly? Now, if you're new to the channel, I have other videos on my channel where I actually talk about some of the investments you could actually make, how to buy businesses, how to scale them. I have a video being posted here pretty soon about behind the scenes of what it actually took to actually buy this business. And so I'm happy to make other videos about more of the action items you could take to actually set yourself up to become financially free and run businesses and all that. But the whole point of this video, it's a short video, just to get the concept across that you become what you think about. And I really want people to be hyper aware and hyper conscious of this. I want you to go throughout the day just being aware of the thoughts that pop in your mind, because this works in both ways. Negative thoughts are like weeds in a garden. They're just going to crop up and you have to purposely pluck them out. It's kind of like the people that think that the world has it out for them, or that, oh, why does this always happen to me? Or problems always happen to me. And it always seems like they're the ones that always get fucked. If you constantly think about problems, you're going to find yourself with an endless amount of problems. Versus if you consciously think about success and you think about solutions and you think about ways to improve your life, it's fucking crazy. It's like magic. Your life starts to improve. So I highly encourage everybody to just be conscious about what you're thinking about, because your life will ultimately become that. If you have any questions, I am accessible. My contact information is in the video description. Please reach out to me. I'm happy to chat. I've already had conversations with people who are curious about how to buy businesses, what the first steps are to position your life. And, again, I don't charge for any of this. I appreciate when people reach out. So I'm more than happy to give you guys the time and attention to provide whatever input you might find valuable. If you want to watch any more videos, please click somewhere here. I'm always making videos twice a week. And so I'm also saying this, I'm holding myself accountable. But I appreciate it. See you soon.